Pong, 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 pong. Oh, hi there. I was just trying to recreate the video game back from the 70s, Pong. I remember playing that with that, and we thought it was just the way coolest thing back there in the day. But of course now, any self-respecting video game would laugh at Pong. Well, what we're really doing is we are going to work with some algebra tiles, which are a great way to show math from concrete to the representational to the abstract. First thing, warning, it's going to take multiple exposures for you to really feel comfortable using algebra tiles. So if after today's session you're feeling, oh, I don't know about these, don't worry. It does take multiple exposures to really get these down. Also, if you are used to teaching math in an abstract way, this might hurt your head for a while. So it's really hard. The more abstract you're used to teaching, the harder it's going to be to do this. So basically, be patient with yourself. Give yourself a chance. Well, let's work with some algebra tiles here. And first, we want to get to know our players. I'm going to start out with our smallest and work up to our biggest. So I'm going to start over here. What we have here, these little guys, these little squares, represent our whole numbers. So my yellow tile here is going to represent a positive 1. I'm just going to write that above here. Going to represent a positive 1, and our red guy is going to represent a negative 1. And most of the time when you see tutorials on algebra tiles, you'll see red represented as negative. So all three of the tiles we're going to look at, the other colors positive and red's negative. Students are used to that, bank accounts being in the red, etc. The only time I've ever seen red not used as negative was when a guy who was a big NC State fan was doing it, and so he had red as positive. But that's a story for another day. So anyway, that's our whole number. Let's look at what x is. And we don't really know what the value of x is, so this is going to be somewhat of a mystery here. But this large rectangle represents x. And a good set of algebra tile, you can't match up an even number of your whole numbers to the x piece because we have no idea what the value of x is. So our green rectangle is going to represent positive x, or I'm just going to write x. And our red rectangle is going to represent negative x. So whole numbers, we've got our x value here. We've got one other player to meet, and that's these big guys over here, and that is x squared. And we can see a little bit more if we're trying to think about x squared. What is x squared? X squared really represents x times x. It's really an area model of this. X times x is x squared, so that can help students see that a little bit more visually as well. So our big guys, our big cubic looking things are, this is going to be positive x squared, the blue side, and our red guy is going to be negative x squared. So again, red values represent negative numbers. Our other colors are going to represent positive numbers. So those are the players in today's game. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to go through and we're going to represent, we're going to model, if you will, some various expressions here with polynomials. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll bring in a new fresh sheet of paper and we're going to just show something. So let's say I was just going to show something like an x minus 3. Okay, we can do that. So if I'm remembering correctly, our x's were these rectangle deals. Red was negative, green was positive, so we've got that. And then it says we've got a minus 3, or we can look at this as negative 3. So I'm going to go to my little cubes, and I remember that the red guys showed negative. So if I had 3 of these, this would then represent x minus 3. We got this, no problem. We can do this. Let's look at another example here. I'm going to flip her over, and let's go to a new sheet. That's going to look better. We'll have that on the other side, and won't remember what that's going to be. So let's see. Let's say we had, let's say we were going to represent here a 2x squared plus x. Okay, we can do that. Let's see, I think I remember the x squared guys were our big ones. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those. Our big ones, there's one, and there's another. Got our 2x squareds there. And it says plus x. So I'm going to grab just one of my green guys here to show that. Let's see, that's a positive 2x squared. That's 1x. So I've modeled it, 2x squared plus x. Let's do another one. And this time I'm going to put it down first, and I want you to try to practice it. And if you want to pause the video a second, feel free to do that. So let's say I had, well, let's do a 3x, let's do plus 3. So give it a try, pause it, give it a try. Okay, you're back from the pause, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see, 3x. So that's going to be my rectangles. I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 of those, 1, 2, 3. And that says then plus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these, bink, bonk, and bink. And so this is going to give me 3x plus 3 is represented there. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do one that has 3 terms in it here. So let's see, bring in a fresh sheet of paper. We're going to do, let's say here, why don't we do, a negative x squared minus 4x plus 1. So again, give this a try. Pause it just a second. Go ahead and model it, and then flip this back on when you're ready. All right, welcome back. So I'm going to model this, negative x squared minus 4x plus 1. So my big red cube is the x squared, because remember that equaled x times x, minus 4x. Let's see, I'm going to need my rectangles here. And let's see, there we go with 4 of those guys. Negative x squared minus 4x, and then last but not least, I'm going to need a positive 1. So there I have it. Negative x squared minus 4x plus 1 is showing that modeled. Try some more of these, and you have a practice sheet there. Go ahead and do numbers 1 through number 6 and practice each of those. There is an answer key that you can look at to see if you're right with those. So give those a shot. Again, be patient with yourself as we work through these. It does take a while to really get a good handle on them.